So, back for another VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Hariyama. We don't have Iron Hands at the moment, so Hariyama immediately jumps in viability. I think it stays entirely as viable as it would be if Iron Hands is allowed in the format at any point, but yeah, like, people will just default to Iron Hands if that's available. Hariyama can still do a couple of things that Iron Hands cannot. The Guts boost, getting boosted with the Flame Orb, is going to make you stronger than the Iron Hands. That's a good plus for Hariyama as well. Wide Guard is massive as well. Iron Hands does not get Wide Guard. That would be a huge reason why you would want to use Hariyama over Iron Hands instead. You can do more damage if you get your Flame Orb, and you can Wide Guard things. And that's a big niche over Iron Hands, and an entirely justifiable reason to run it. Like, I'm talking as if Iron Hands is in the format. It's not. And the fact that it's not means that Hariyama is actually very, very good on it in its own regard. It can do exactly the same thing as it would have done otherwise, but yeah, Close Combat and Knock Off are probably the two best moves you can use on this moveset to be able to get the coverage. Close Combat is pretty much mandatory because it's your strongest move, and then it is coverage, basically. Like, do you want this? Do you want Headlong Rush? Because it does get that now. Where is Headlong Rush? There it is. But then you cannot hit flying types, like, really at all. Although Close Combat's still going to hurt, but probably Knock Off is going to be your best coverage move that you can get access to. Pairing with Close Combat, that is. Wide Guard is a big reason to use Hariyama. It also gets access to Helping Hands, which is also very good as a combination. Where is Helping Hand? There it is. Helping Hand, Fake Out and Helping Hand is a very good combination as supports, because then you can help your setup sweepers very well, because you can Fake Out and set up, and then if they're not strong enough, you can Helping Hands the next turn to get them strong enough. So that is a very good combination as well. I wouldn't have Close Combat with Wide Guard, Fake Out, and Helping Hand. Like, that would be okay, but you'd miss the coverage a lot. I would choose probably one of Helping Hand or Wide Guard if you are going with this Hariyama. There are a couple of other usable moves on the Hariyama. I've seen a few people go for Guts Boosted Facade with a normal typing. I think you should be fighting because you want to be doing massive damage. You don't really need to defensively Terror type with Hariyama because you're dropping your defenses close combat. You want to do as much damage as possible, but Guts Boosted Facade with normal typing is reasonable. Bullet Punch is fine as well. That can do some nice priority damage on top of the Guts boost. You could turn into a Steel type to boost that even further, but probably would stick to Knock Off instead. But those are just a couple of options that you do have access to. This is basically the best way to EV the Hariyama because its HP is so high. Putting it into HP instead of defenses is way less optimal because you want to make the most of the amount of HP you have by making those HP stats worth more by investing into the defenses because those are much lower. So investing into the defenses is slightly better than going into HP. This is one way that you can run the Hariyama. If you want to bulk it out even further, you can definitely run an Assault Vest. That's going to be able to stack on top of your already fantastic bulk. You'll still do great damage with this much attack. Like 176 is always respectable, especially with base 120 base power moves as well. This time you can fit Headlong Rush and Knock Off onto the same moveset because you're running the Assault Vest. You're not going to run any of the supporting moves. So you've got great coverage, great offenses. You can go with Thick Fats on the Assault Vest to make yourself even more, well, I say immune, to take less damage from fire and ice types, but it's still very reasonable to still go Guts even if you don't have the Flame Orb, so that if you are burned with a Will-O-Wisp, then you don't care. So either of those are entirely reasonable. Another move that I would recommend on an Assault Vest Hariyama would be the move Feint, because Feint and Fake Out is a very good combination, because if they want to protect in front of your Fake Out and you catch that with a Feint, then you are sorted. It can also lock down some positions as well. So then you'd be able to guarantee that that Pokemon is KO'd because they can't protect. Even if they do protect or if they don't protect, that slot could be KO'd as you're guaranteeing the KO with a Feint. So yeah, Hariyama is a very, very strong Pokemon. It's been good in all the formats that it's been available in regional dex formats. When Iron Hands comes back, Hariyama will still have its place in the metagame, for sure. We'll just have to see if Iron Hands just becomes the default, because it seemed to be at the beginning. That might have been like new Pokemon bias because they want to use the new thing. But Hariyama, with or without Iron Hands in the format, is a very strong Pokemon in its own regard.